Welcome to another episode of Sus Faction.
Today is an Acela-centric episode, and I'm Kyle.
And I'm Isella,
And
we're
we're
your
your
hosts. So today we're going to be talking about werewolves.
Woohoo!
When I say werewolves, what do you picture?
I always think of, if I think of a werewolf, I think of the lichens from Underworld.
I didn't even put that on my list.
Like, I think of them, I think of, I also think of Shakira and her, what song is it where she says something about lycanthropy?
No, that's perfect, actually, because that is where the legends come from. It has to do with Lycaon. He's in Greek mythology. He transforms into a wolf. The king of Arcadia tested Zeus and by feeding him the roasted flesh of his sons.
Oh, wow.
And he's turned into a werewolf as punishment. And his name is rooted in the term lycanthropy, which is to describe both the condition of changing into a werewolf or just believing that one is a werewolf. And that's also recognized as a psychological condition.
That's crazy.
When I hear werewolves, I think of Twilight.
Oh my god.
I do. I think of Twilight.
I think that I would too, because I have like tons of Twilight posters like in the backs of all of like the posters that I have up. Behind them are the movie posters for Twilight and New Moon and Eclipse and all that.
Oh, see, and I think of Taylor Lautner and other hunky Native American guys turning into wolves.
Oh yeah, the
Cooliots. Some other popular depictions are the original Teen Wolf with Michael J. Fox in 1985. I wasn't born yet, but I've seen it. I've seen it.
Yeah.
And then in 2011 with Tyler Posey.
Yeah.
Yep. And then we've got Cursed with Christina Ricci, which you told me you have not seen.
I lied. I've seen it.
Okay. And then we have True Blood's Joe Manganiello.
Alcide.
Seth Green in Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
That's something I haven't seen. It's not Buffy.
Okay. And then the original oldest surviving werewolf movie is the 1935 Werewolf of London.
And that has kicked off I think that is what kicked off an American Werewolf in London, an American Werewolf in Paris, like those movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Werewolf in London was the very first, it was the oldest surviving werewolf movie. There was a short silent film before that is just lost to time.
Kind of like Nosferatu was like the first vampire film.
Yeah. Yep. So 200 years before Salem had their witch trials, courts in Europe were convicting men and some women of transforming into werewolves and mutilating and eating children. The werewolf trials took place during the 15th, 16th, and 17th centuries. Throughout Europe, the accusations were driven by superstition, religious and political clashes, and the desire to find scapegoats for the harsh conditions. The accused were often beggars, hermits, or immigrants. Many confessed to the accusations, but only after torture.
Oh, of course. Who wouldn't?
Historians suspect that some suffered from delusions or weren't intelligent enough to know what they were confessing to. Some may have been actual pedophiles or serial killers, so at least there's that.
Right.
But the historical records are fragmented or exaggerated, and centuries later, it is difficult to untangle folklore from real evidence or from what people believed to be real at the time. I mean, nowadays you wouldn't accuse someone of being a werewolf. So.
Right. Unless I saw them like straight up like have their jaw unhinged and them sprouting hair all over their bodies. Or if they just straight up jumped over Bella and just transformed into a dog, I'm pretty sure that wouldn't happen.
Yes, it'd be very difficult nowadays to accuse someone of lycanthropy. So the idea of being consumed by animals at that time was a very real fear during the Middle Ages. Many of these stories of lycanthropy come from areas with significant wolf populations. And that's where most of the lore comes from. And then we mentioned Lycaon, the Greek mythology, and that it also is rooted in a psychological condition by the same name. Folklore of the Middle Ages depicted werewolves as people who shape-shifted against their will and desperately wanted to return to human form.
Did you say in folklore?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I was gonna say, yeah, I know at least that much, that in like folklore that it was something that happened against their will. They didn't have control over changing or not.
Yeah. So that's very different for our accused here.
Right.
So charges of people being werewolves surfaced as part of the witch trials in the 1400s. Switzerland conducted large-scale prosecutions blaming witches for crop failures, lameness, blindness, infertility, and impotence, as well as adopting wolf forms and mutilating cattle. In 1428, several men and women were convicted and burned at the stake with a sack of gunpowder around their necks.
That is morbid.
Yep.
And just diabolical.
Yeah. So they were like, we're not sure that burning you is going to take care of the problem. So
let's make your head explode.
Blow your head up as well. Yeah. Also, and this is extremely sus, any land they owned automatically transferred to the king.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, I've seen this before.
Yeah, right. Something suspicious.
Yes. So several scholarly papers report that 30,000 were executed as werewolves in France alone between 1520 and 1630. So in 1521, inquisitors appointed by Pope Leo X, which is kind of funny because we have a new Pope Leo now.
Mm-hmm.
Pope Leo X presided over the werewolf trials. Two men, Michael Verdon and Pierre Bourgat, confessed to making a deal with three men in black for food and to protect their sheep in exchange for their rejection of God. He gave them ointment that turned them into werewolves. They also attended a midnight gathering of witches and hunted and ate children. Both men were burned at the stake, with a third, Philibert Menot, I don't know. How do you, French? I don't know French. Mentot? Mentot? Who did not confess. He didn't confess, but he was burned right along with them.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
So it's like burning by association?
Kind of, yeah. And we'll see that multiple times, it looks like. Suppose that eyewitness testimony to glowing eyes, long pointed teeth, and beasts running with superhuman speed helped fuel these accusations. Contesting the church's authority, however, Parliament took charge of the werewolf prosecutions, and at one point they encouraged citizens to form angry mobs with clubs, pikes, and other kugels to hunt down, find, catch, shoot, or kill suspected werewolves.
I just had a total, like, full film scene of Shrek and everybody in their torches and pitchforks.
Yes, it makes me think of Shrek and Transylvania.
Yeah.
and even the old Frankenstein, where they're all with the pitchforks and torches and chasing after. They very much encourage that behavior.
Oh yeah.
Yes, they did. It's just crazy. All right. So remember when you were talking about Giles Corey in the witch trials, and I said, I have a Giles. In 1573, Giles Garnier, an immigrant living in poverty in the forest, was accused of mutilating children near Dole, a French town. After torture, of course, he confessed to killing 4 children and feeding their bones to his family on a Friday. A double sacrilegious deed because no meat was to be eaten on Fridays. He was allegedly seen by a search party holding the boy of a child in the woods, and after his confession, he was burned at the stake.
Wow.
You said you'd believe it if you saw it.
Yeah.
He's one they said they saw.
And that's crazy, like, that people are so manipulated by fear that they will say anything.
Yeah.
I mean, fear of probably being accused themselves, so they want to blame it on the next person.
Yeah. And then, but Giles Corey was an old man, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we have an elderly man that was accused, but this time in Latvia. So an 80-year-old man named Thijs of Kaltenbrunn in Latvia claimed to be a hound of God.
Oh, wow.
He used his werewolf cloak to enter hell 3 times a year, where he would battle witches and devils to ensure a good harvest. He was convicted of practicing folk magic and sentenced to a flogging and banishment. So they did not kill him.
Oh, good.
Because he said he was doing it for good reasons.
Right? Exactly. Doing God's work.
Yes. He's one I think was maybe mentally ill.
Yeah.
Yeah. This brings us to the story of Peter Stump. Okay.
Uh-oh.
This is a hard one.
Is it?
In 1589, Peter Stump was accused of dozens of murders and cannibalizations that had happened over a 25-year period.
No.
I don't think it was all him.
Right.
But I think they were looking to pin it on someone. He confessed that he was gifted a belt from the devil as part of a deal, and he was executed on October 31st, 1589.
Fitting.
The executioners strapped him to a large wheel, removed his skin with hot pincers. They broke his arms and legs and chopped off his head before burning his body at the stake.
Whoa.
Yes, it was brutal. This one is probably the most brutal that I've read.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Ugh.
That surpasses like anything I've read about like any of the witch trials. Like, that's just crazy.
Yeah. It doesn't end there.
Oh goodness.
So even though he's dead, they then attached his head to a wooden pole that they had carved into the body of a werewolf and displayed it as a warning to others who might be tempted to deal with the devil. His mistress and daughter were burned alongside him.
Full on jaw hit the floor.
Yes. That's the worst one. I have chills. It's the worst one.
That's awful.
Yeah. And it's on Halloween.
Yeah.
That one happened on Halloween. Like,
wow.
Yes. Okay.
Ouch.
Yeah. Give you a second. Let's take a drink.
Right? Exactly. That was like intense.
Yes, that is arguably the worst one. Okay. In the Netherlands, Volkert Dirks and his 5 children were arrested. His 14-year-old son had confessed to making a pact and dancing with the devil. He said the entire family was dancing with the devil. The story goes that the devil came down from the chimney with a red cat. The cat turned into a woman and started dancing with everyone. Then the devil, the woman, and his father all went to a field where they turned into wolves and began eating animals. And they did this several times. Several times he ran through his fields with the children to bite cattle. Then his 17-year-old daughter said she began consorting with the devil at 11 years old, sleeping with him multiple times over the years, corroborating her father's stories. All were burned except for the 4 sons. They were spared. I think that maybe his daughter was abused, and that's how she was able to relay the information, like, oh, it was the devil that was sleeping with me.
Yeah, it was like by trauma, kind of like fractured memories.
Yeah.
That's awful. Aw.
Could have even been her father doing it.
Yeah.
The way the story reads.
Wow.
But yeah, so
these are all brutal. Good golly, Miss Molly.
They're not pretty stories. In Estonia, 1651, Hans, an 18-year-old, admitted to having hunted as a werewolf for 2 years. He told the court that a man in black bit him before the changes occurred. When asked by the judge if he felt more human or animal, he replied that he felt like a wild beast, and there was no evidence of any murders. But they still sentenced him to death.
What?
Now, you're an 18-year-old boy. I'm sure you feel like a wild animal anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, and he didn't say he felt like an animal. He just said he felt like a wild beast, but that could be just being an 18-year-old
semantics
boy.
Or whatever. Like, but still, I agree at your point of like it being a young man, like, and hormones and stuff and puberty. Like, come on, give a kid a break.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep. So by the early 17th century, interest in werewolves had waned. The hundreds of men and women who were accused, tried, and confessed to being werewolves were accused of using witchcraft to perform their transformation. And most were accused of having a pact with the devil and hunting and eating human flesh. Stories often involved magic in the form of an ointment, a salve, or an object such as a belt that guided the transformation and gave them their abilities, except for the one bite. That was the only bite story.
Really?
Yes.
But so the belts and like the salves are common?
Mm-hmm. Most of the time it was ointments or a belt, like a salve or an ointment. Some sort of, I guess, like a potion situation. Mm-hmm.
Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah. And then the trials and executions were public, while many were tortured for their confessions in private. Some were sent to an asylum or a monastery, or simply banished, while others were brutally executed. In some cases, involved the entire family of the accused being executed alongside them. It is believed that some may have been confessors to avoid torture, while others could have been mentally or physically ill. Another theory is that they could have been experiencing hallucinations that could have been brought on by rabies infection at that time, or the use of the ointment mentioned in the cases. They're thinking the hallucinations could have been from whatever could have been in any ointment or salve they could have been using.
Right.
Sometimes the trials even involved trying to bring on the transformation by use of the ointments or salves in front of the crowd, in front of the court. So the next most notable trials would be the witch trials of the New World. So that's the end of the werewolf trials.
I don't know how you found that. Like that was even a thing, because I had never heard of any werewolf trials. I didn't know that was a thing at all.
Yeah. It's one of the lesser known, but the Salem witch trials weren't even the first witch trials in the US in this area. The first ones were about 50 years before that, and it was just one witch, one woman. And she was in Connecticut.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Did not know that. Should have studied more on my Salem
well,
witch
it
trials.
Wouldn't have come up.
Right.
We were looking for Salem. But no, I had looked up other trials because I wanted to be accurate. Like, everything I had read was like, well, and then the next most notable trials was Salem. And I'm like, was it though? Because I heard there was one before Salem. And yeah, the next most notable would have been anything that happened in the New World. So by then they were done across the pond, but it all shifted this direction.
Right. Well, because a lot of the people that were across the pond came here.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
And so do their beliefs.
Mm-hmm. The Puritans and all of their fears, and
Puritans
you
were
put them back into the woods.
I
mean, you put them back into the woods that they were afraid of.
Yeah, you put them in a primitive place, and then
it all comes back around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a really that's a crazy psychological test to a person and their mind. That reminds me of Naked and Afraid or something.
Yeah. Yeah. I still want to know more about what happened to the lost colony of Roanoke. It's so mysterious.
I know. We should
cover that.
Yes.
We could.
Because
could we do that one for Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Roanoke for Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's fine with me, because that has always astonished me.
Yeah.
Just first of all, where does all those people go?
Yeah.
And then the Croatoan being the only tangible thing that, I don't know, it's just wild.
Yeah, I bet you there's a lot of theories out there that involve some sort of cryptid or something.
Mm-hmm. I know that there's a lot of theories on just them. Well, how about we save it?
I was say we're going on a tangent a little bit, but giving you some sneak peeks into future episodes. All right. Let's see.
All right. Well, again, thank you for listening. Be sure to come back for another episode.
We post every week on Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember, trust no one, question everything.
And if you want to send us any stories of your own for us to share here on the podcast, you can reach us at susfactionpod@outlook.com. Again, if you want to share your stories with us for us to share on the podcast, you can reach us at susfactionpod@outlook.com. And we also have an Instagram.
Yes, our Instagram is at susfactionpod. And we will be, for the month of November, because this wraps up our October Halloween creepy spooky series. For November, we're going to be talking about aliens.
Yeah.
So we need to get out your tinfoil hats and sit on the couch and make sure you've got glasses of water around.
Right. Signs. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, that's it. Thank you so much.